This is your friend at Rizban's Kitchen. My name is Moin, and today I'm going to show you a very simple but very popular recipe of India, Pakistan. It's called Kadai chicken. Now it's made differently from places to place. If you find in India, you'll find a version that's very heavily tomato based. If you go to Pakistan, you'll find it kind of like a half and half, tomato and then some yogurt. I'm just gonna try to be very simple here today, and that's just again hoping that at Rizban's Kitchen, our mission is to inspire others to cook. So hopefully you look at this and find it very easy to make at home. Some of the spices that I'll mention here, if you do not find it in your local grocery store, there are plenty of Indian stores, grocery stores around, and you will find these spices there without, they'll have it for sure. So we're gonna make the Kadai chicken, and this is a list of ingredients I have here if you wanna kind of take a look at it. I have a little bit of about around 2 pounds of chicken here, chicken breast, that I'm gonna use. It's already pre-mixed here. I put about a 1/4 of the teaspoon of cumin powder, coriander powder, and dried mango powder in here. That's mixed here. Now again, these spices can easily be found at any Indian store in Minnesota here. That's dried mango powder, cumin powder, coriander powder. So you put that in here. Then the next step is gonna be this crushed chilies flake. So I'm gonna take that. This is, this is something you get from Pizza Hut. They give you the red crushed peppers. You can go ahead and use that if you want. And this, it really is based on how spicy you want this dish to be. We're gonna use about a tablespoon here, and kind of sprinkle in the chicken here, and then we'll mix it later to kind of mix it with all of the chicken pieces here, so it sticks to it. So that's that. So once again, very simple. Put some chili pepper flakes in there, cumin powder, dried mango powder, and coriander powder, and mix this chicken up really nice. The next step is going to be you take 2 cups of water. I have a little over 2 cups, but that's okay. You can take 2 cups of water, and what you want to do here is you want to take ginger and garlic paste mix. Once again, this is found in any Indian grocery store. Now, if you have ginger powder or garlic powder, that just works just fine. You want to use 1 tablespoon of each of those. So I'm going to take this here, put it in this water, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons almost, and I'm going to go ahead and let that sit in there for a little bit. Cover this up. So we got ginger garlic paste out of the way. We have the red chili peppers out of the way, so we'll put those aside. Now, my favorite spice is turmeric, and this is how I make my kadai. Now, other people may disagree that it's made this way or that way, but in Pakistan, in the city of Karachi, if you want to have real kadai, there's a lot of places here that make it differently, but you'll know that you're having the real one if you can taste the turmeric in there, because they're very heavily used. The turmeric is very heavily used in the kadai in the city area, or like in the outside of the city a little bit, in the truck stops or the little small villages. Turmeric is very heavily used. So I am gonna use, for this 2-pound chicken, about 1 teaspoon of turmeric here, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this turmeric in the water, the 2 cups of water that I had already put the ginger and garlic paste in. So I'll put that in there, and cover this up, get this out of the way, and then give this water a good mix. So now it's mixed up here with turmeric, your ginger and garlic paste powder if you want to use that, and it's mixed up really nice. So I used a little bit over over 2 cups here, so it's kind of dripping here a little bit, but that's okay. But we just want to make sure we at least have 2 cups of the water, this mix here. So now that I'm done here, I have my turmeric all ready to go. I have my chicken all ready to go here in the pan. The other ingredients we're gonna need is going to be, I have 3 tomatoes here chopped. For 2-pound chicken, I have 3 tomatoes chopped. I have some green chilies for that added spiciness. And the chilies always give a good flavor too. So it's not just, the green chilies are not just about the spice, but they really bring out a very good flavor, and the smell is amazing when you use these green chilies. Now we find these in the Indian store. I'm not sure what they're really called, but they're really spicy. But you can use the serrano peppers that you find in the local grocery store if you'd like. And then we're gonna have some salt. We can go ahead and put that in here. I'll just give it a couple, 2, 3. That's about it. We don't like our dishes to be too salty, but that's up to you. If you want it a little bit more, you can add to it. And then about a couple more spins here of just the black pepper that I'll put in that chicken. So now what we have left is we've got the chicken done with the spices mixed. We have the water ready with the ginger garlic paste and the turmeric. So now, and I've shown you that, the one last thing I forgot is the yogurt. So the yogurt is, you add this at the very end if you feel like you want to have some sort of a gravy, some masala type feeling, so it's not completely dry, because your tomatoes are going to dissolve and vaporize, and it's going to be very dry, and you'll know why yogurt is a very good choice to add at the end. I have about 2 full tablespoons here, which I like to put in there just because then the dish doesn't feel all oily, because we're going to use some oil to fry some of that fish, not the fish, I'm sorry, chicken. So you want some of this yogurt in there to kind of give it a more of a masala, a little bit of a gravy on the chicken, and as well as to absorb if something is a little bit too spicy, the yogurt is the best absorbent. So if you end up making this dish and you find that it's a little too spicy with all the spices that you put in there, you can always add a little bit more yogurt, stir it, and you're good to go. So let's go on and make this dish. Okay friends, so now that we have all the prep ready for the kadai chicken, I'm going to show you. This is the chicken that we marinated earlier with, again, some pepper flakes are in there, cumin powder, coriander powder, and dried mango powder. And it's really a mixture. It's been sitting here for about a half hour, so we let the marination come in here. And then what you want to do is here, you want to look at this kadai here, the wok that I'm using. I put about 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil in there, and that's just we're gonna take this chicken and put it in there, right to fry it. So I'm gonna take the chicken here, and then I'm gonna put this in this hot oil. Now again, if you notice, my flame is really high. Eventually we're gonna put that on a medium, but in order to get this process started for the curry chicken, I'm gonna take the chicken and dump it right here in this oil and fry it. Turn the flame to medium here, really quick. And you want to add the water and the turmeric that I made, with turmeric water, the ginger and garlic paste, and you want to add that in there right away. Otherwise, what's going to happen is your chicken is going to start to stick to the pan. We don't want that. We want this, the chicken to be lightly fried, and then just kind of get soaked in this the water with turmeric and the ginger garlic paste, and there you go. So now it was sizzling earlier. Now it's just kind of it's calming down a little bit. And in here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this up for about a couple of minutes here, until it's the chicken starts. You want to steam the chicken a little bit in that water, and the flavor of the turmeric, the ginger garlic paste, it's really going to absorb with all of the other spices that we had added to the chicken. So really we're just going to let this sit here for a couple of minutes, and then show you what comes next. Okay, friends, so if I bring you close here, the pan, as you can see, we've had the chicken, for in there for, we covered it up for a couple of minutes, and now it's, the water is boiling here, and the chicken has just been cooking in the turmeric, the ginger garlic paste, and the spices that we added to the chicken earlier. So now what we want to do here, right at this stage, we want to take the chopped tomatoes here. The 3 tomatoes, again for 2 pounds chicken, we use 3 tomatoes here. You can use more if you want, but it's just gonna give you that tomatoey flavor that you're used to having at a lot of the Indian restaurants. But what we want to do here is use less tomato, and then at the end add some yogurt to kind of have that yogurty and tomato flavor. So we don't want to overpower this kadai with a lot of tomato flavor is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to dump the 3 tomatoes in here, just like that. And as you can see here, I'm just going to mix it in this dish here. Once I'm going to cover this up again for another 5 minutes on medium flame. And when I check it next, the tomatoes, you should not see any of these tomatoes. They should be dissolved, and it should just become a paste, and that's what it needs to be. So right now it's going to cook at medium flame. I'm again going to cover this up for about maybe 5 minutes. If I lift the lid and I still see some tomatoes in there, I'll give it a stir a little bit, and then cover it up again for a few more minutes until the tomatoes are completely dissolved and you can't see the tomatoes at all. So so while that's happening, I just want to point out this is my favorite spoon here. I use this all the time. It's kind of worn out, but every time I cook, I use this spoon to cook it. I don't know what it is with me in this. Maybe the fact that I've had this thing for a very long time, and it's never given up on me, and it produces a lot of tasty food. So okay, friends, so as you can see here, the tomatoes are almost gone here. Now I see some a little bit here, and I'm gonna let it sit here for a little bit more. It's been about 5 minutes covered up. What I am going to do though now is to add these chilies here. But again, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I just think that chilies are not just about spices, but they bring about a flavor and the aroma into the dish that's just very unique, and I really like it. So I'm going to dump this in here, dump the chilies in here, mix it up a little bit more, and I'm going to let this thing, maybe just turn this flame to a high flame so I can make sure that all of the tomatoes are completely dissolved and turned into kind of like a sauce, and that I don't see any tomatoes in there. So so we'll cover it up here. Now so far between the prep and up to this stage, I think I've only spent about 20 minutes, which is not bad, and I suspect that it's going to take another maybe 10 minutes or maybe at the most 15 minutes. So in 35 minutes you're going to have a very tasty kadai dish that the entire family can enjoy. Once again, the spices, the salt, and all of these things is up to you. In a 2-pound chicken, we used about 1 tablespoon of turmeric, about 1/4 tablespoon of cumin powder, coriander powder, and about a tablespoon of the chili flakes, and a little bit of salt and a little bit of black pepper. Now modify this as you wish, but so in the end we're gonna have a very tasty kadai here, so stay tuned. Alright friends, so as you can see here, I've been kind of just stirring this for about the last 5 minutes. We're about 30 minutes into making this dish, and look at this. I mean, it's looking really great here. Now, as you can see the steam coming out, you can stir it a little bit more to get this even drier, but we want to have some of this thick gravy, just so if we have it with rice or if we have it with a really nice fresh made naan, we can enjoy the gravy as well as the chicken. So this is about it. This is the consistency we're going to leave this at. I'm going to add, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of caps full of lime juice here, lemon juice. I'm sorry, just to give it a little bit more kick there, and stir that really quick. Really quick here. I'm going to turn the flame off, and as this is going to, some of the more steam coming out, evaporating more, I'm going to take a handful of cilantro here, and I'm going to top it off, and there you go. So, and I want to say, about less than 35 minutes, a little over half hour, but less than 35 minutes, you have a very, very extremely tasty dish for the whole family. 2 pounds of chicken, a little bit of cumin powder, coriander powder, dried mango powder, ginger garlic paste, lime juice, some red chili flakes. You can get those in the pizza places that send you the red crushed peppers. You can use those. Yeah, so hopefully you like this video here. If there's anything I can do to improve, if I'm talking too fast, or if the consistency is not there when I'm trying to explain the process, please do leave us a comment here. Like I said, we've just started making our videos, and we want to hear feedback from you so that we can improve. Once again, thank you for watching the video here. This is Moin at Rizban's Kitchen, signing off.